Words may inspire you, but action creates a change. Hello, very good evening, and a warm welcome to all of you who have joined the live session today. I'm your host Varshakala for the evening, and I'm thankful for the privilege to be a part of this wonderful initiative taken by the Ashtraya team. We the Ashtraya is a student-run NGO, which is India's youth-led NGO, which is working in 20 plus states towards the welfare of society. In pursuit of holistic development, we have been focusing on the five main fields: Paryavaran, Vastra, Chikitsa, Shiksha, and Shakti. We have done many events before, like the Shakti Week on Women's Empowerment, Paridan, a wearable distribution drive, and many more across India. To encourage students and to give them exams confidentially, and also to make them aware of the career prospects in different fields, and to instigate their potential by motivation, Ashtraya is back with our first new virtual initiative for the year 2023, the Pariksha Week. The Pariksha Week is a student-oriented, week-long virtual event starting from yesterday, that is 13 February, until 19 February, revolving around many themes like career guidance, motivation, exam preparation, etc. So our first session was yesterday, which was all about the career guidance by Jaishankar sir, which was very interactive as it was full of information and tips on how to figure out what you want to do with your life and also to overcome any obstacles you might face the way. So today is the day two of the Pariksha week, and we would be mainly discussing on the topics exam preparation and time management. So today we have Nishant sir with us to talk on a topic which sounds very general yet very important in walks of life. That is exam preparation and time management. It is said that time is money, and who can run with it can achieve it whatever they wish for in life. Irrespective of whatever field you work for or you have interest in whatever age group you're in, you can master the art of how to utilize your time in order to achieve your goals. The crucial learning phase of a child, that is student life, therefore is very important for learning the art to design the routine in such a way that can be productive and also it can get executed properly. So today, our guest speaker is Nishant Naidu, sir, who's currently working as a vice principal in first grade college in Mysore, Karnataka. He's also one of those rare people who not only works for money, but also for satisfaction and social welfare, as he has taken up many initiatives and he has been serving in the field of education since almost 14 years as professor in Kautilya First Grade and PU College and Sri Lakshmi Hargreeva Institute of Science, Commerce and Management. Then as Vice Principal and HOD of Commerce in Kautilya PU College, Sir has also been actively participating in teaching through video lecturing on various platforms. Sir also has written many books on business studies and financial accounting and study materials for banking examination. So, sir, I would really firstly like to thank you, sir, for accepting a formal invitation to this event. Even though the speech yet has to begin, I'm really inspired because you took your time from your busy schedule out here to motivate us and other students. So thank you.
It's not only a problem of you or few students. So when you take a whole nation, if you consider, so all the students except those toppers who will be in top line, except them, or majority of the students prefers to prepare for the examination just before 15 days or Yuddhakalena Shastrabhyasa, we say. So that concept of majority of them adopt. The problem with them is they don't love books. So that is one major problem. And at the same time, it differs from age group. Usually you might have come across who are in kindergarten, used to be a topper of the class, and they progress into different classes, their results will get down. So that is secondly, I could say peer influence, the group. Mm-hmm. So they will influence. So that is another thing. And number three is they may show interest on the subjects on the basis of their likes and dislikes. As I know, economy is one of the biggest thing which everybody should know. But most of the students don't like economics because they feel it's a dry subject. So these are the differences. So students need to understand what is important, what is not important, what are we going to apply in the future. For example, now AI is one of the most a learning tool which is essential for any student. So that needs to be conveyed in a proper channel to them. It's going to be a future. You're going to build a future with this AI, but majority of them fail to convey that properly. So that is where students will lack, and even parents have to discuss, and the elders see, instead of giving suggestion from the parent, from the teacher, or from the friends, I would suggest discuss the reality,
Yes, makes sense. Yeah.
because suggestions are at free of cost, and the students at your age, especially this generation, they don't like suggestions. So if we have a discussion rather than suggestion, that would be a great solution for all the problem related to education.
Yes, sir. And also, sir, it's important to learn, like having the count of time from an early age. So, how was it like more important having like the time management basically in exam preparation?
Exam preparation, time management is very, very important, because I always insist to students, don't believe in things that you should able to grasp or understand the concept only in the early morning. As per the psychology, we divide the mentality of the students as a night owl and early birds.
Yes,
So
yes.
night owls are those students who can grasp more, who can understand the concept more in the night rather than early morning. And early birds are those students who can study and grasp things quickly. So those. So the difference between them, the early birds cannot, awake late night,
Yeah.
and the night owl cannot wake up early. So this is the smallest difference every student should know and understand. There was a belief that if you get up early in the morning, 4 o'clock or 3:30, and if you start studying in the Brahmi Muhurta, then only you will get the knowledge and all. So as psychology is already proved, and we as a educator, we already started dividing the students into two category, as a night owl and early bird, and we give them a time management session. So we always, so if a student is studying six subjects, that is the standard subject usually a student studies, what I tell them is, don't stick on to one subject whole day or whole evening when you're sitting for a study, or whole morning when you're sitting for a study. I tell them to divide the subject accordingly, like this subject you are more strong, give less time. The subject which you are weak, you should spend more time with that. Usually what happens, whenever the parents pressurizes or teachers pressurizes, what children does, they will open their favorite book, favorite subject, which
Yeah.
they already know. Even without preparation, they can score 70 to 80 marks. They will spend more time on those subjects. So that according to me, most of the students work on their strength again and again and again. So repeatedly, which they need to avoid. So time management, real time management, according to me, is, suppose if you are good at English, so you need to give less time for English. Like 40 minutes is more enough, because you know the subject, you know everything. So if you are weak at mathematics, give time to more mathematics, like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. If you are weak at science, give more time. And while making this routine timetable, also you should be very clear about it. Suppose if you are a night owl, you should keep your last subject as a mathematic,
Okay.
because
Yeah.
it is going to be a bedtime, and there will be always open invitation from your bed, so it will invite you, come and sleep. So you should keep a working paper during that time, before the bedtime. Suppose you are a night owl, suppose say, and you are studying in the 11 o'clock an history paper, so within 5 to 10 minutes, you will be asleep, and you will be reading history in your sleep. That should not happen.
Yes,
So
sir.
you need to reverse, you need to plan like mathematics you should choose. So where problem solving will be there, physically you will be active, mentally you will be active, you don't get sleep easily. So you can start English, then you can keep social studies in between, and the last subject, mathematics. So first day you have completed three subjects. The second day, take Hindi, then one more subject Kannada, then one more subject left was science. So why I'm keeping science? Because again it includes physics where you have to derive on certain things, derivative problems. Then biology and the chemistry where you need to draw a lot of diagrams and all. So this is for the night owl, whatever the time schedule I said. Suppose if you are an early bird, if you are able to get up early in the morning and sit for the studies, it should be reverse order. Your first subject should be
Man.
mathematics because you will be near to the bed. Okay, so then you need to revive this. What most of the students are doing, this is the common mistake. They are working again and again on their weakness is always ignored. So those weakness, the subject which they are at weak, they need to work more. They need to understand the concepts thoroughly, and they need to discuss with their teachers and their friends. So as possible as much they need to get the solutions for all their doubts. Conceptualization is very important in today's education, because earlier we used to know the question paper itself. It's like a passage answering. First question in a first line you will get an answer in the passage. Second question you will get in second and third line. So it was like that in our traditional kind of educational system. So we used to know which type of question will arrive. But today the conceptualization questions have been started. So they will ask the questions between the lines, so between the lessons, between the textbooks, with that you should thoroughly know the concept. So then only it will work. And as I said, time management. Each student has to plan in one day cycle. So exclusively for the examination, they need to study three subjects. Suppose say we are taking first day of the week Monday, Tuesday second three, Wednesday first three, again Thursday second three. So if a student repeat this cycle, in a complete 1 week, the student could able to give a justice for his studies. And on Sunday, don't relax because it's a time of examination. Revise everything. If it is possible, try to solve previous papers, whatever available. So our model question papers available. So again, you can find your weakness there, your strength there. Again, you can work on the same.
Yes, sir.
So
Yeah, so
then,
me myself, I'm a now child. So right now, like you told, that both are of equal importance because in my family, it used to be like, no, you should study in the morning, like as you said. So yeah. And also, sir, you have told just because of the family pressure, the kids they study the strong subject. So sometimes parents they pressure their children right to match up with the fast moving time, and sometimes the children also feel like very pressurized and very sad also because they can't see the fruitful results already. So how do they not waste time at that time and not be sad and motivate themselves and go forward and not procrastinate?
so obviously, all the parents are greedy. Every parents wanted their children to be at the topper of the institution or board or universities. Uh, First, I would suggest that stop doing it. Don't pressurize children. In a forest, there was a race where all the animals asked to climb the tree. If you're asking a fish to climb the tree, it is going to be a very difficult task. So they should know capabilities of their children. If they are really getting diverted, then they need to take some precautionary action and follow up as to done rather than pressurizing them. So that is where I told at the beginning of the session, we require discussion, not an argument. We require a discussion, not a pressurizing the child. Sometimes the child might not understand the concept. and some of the children who need a individual attention. And as a parent, I am taking that child and putting in a crowded tutorial and asking him to score well, so it is not going to work. So first we should know our children, then we should start working on their weakness rather than on strength. If my kid is already in math very strong and he could able to score 90, I see definitely not pressurize him to concentrate more on math. To be honest, I have a niece who is studying in a ninth standard, so she always has a problem with social studies. So I'll orient her, concentrate on social studies. That is your weakness. Because anyways in a math you will get through. Anyways in a science you will get through. It's not only getting through. She scores above 85. So I don't have any issues with that. So the weakness should be identified and the parent should sit. If they wanted their child to score well, so you need to find out the weakness and you need to work really hard on that. And speaking to the children is always a best solution to come out of the pressure of the examination. If there is a high pressure from the school, higher pressure from the parent, so with these two pressures student might go under depression. So
Yeah.
student might face an examination phobia. Definitely, I'll say the moment they enter, before entering the examination hall, they'll visualizing all the answers in front of their eyes. So everything right in front of them. But the moment they get the question paper, they'll forget everything. So this happens because of the fear they carry in their head. If I could not score more, what my parents do. If I could not score more, what my principal do. If I could not score more, what my teacher do. This questions will make them to forget the answers. Instead of that, everybody should create a positive vibe in them. And I also insist this is the time to work smart, not hard.
Yeah.
Hardworking is a case. You said at the beginning, from day one, if a student have studied, that is going to be a really hardworking.
Yeah.
So we are already in the mid of February. Hardly 15 to 20 days left for the children to face their examination. So they must be smart. So now, what is the smart and hardworking? Hardworking is a case where you know word by word, line by line. But when it comes to smart working, we can have a brain mapping. We can have a brain mapping. So what is this brain mapping? So visualizing the concept on the basis of a story, like a story. So I always say students will struggle a lot, especially when it comes to history. Sir, if I could remember the king name, I could not remember the war name or the year or who won the war or what happened. That four to
Yeah.
five lines they don't remember. So what happens usually? I insist them that take one page, one notebook page, and divide it in many columns. So in each column you give a title. First column, first column, first line, give a title of the war. Second column, the king who went for the war, and third column, the king who is who faced that war. Fourth column year, fifth column won or lost. So if a student can remember this, I bet you on this student can write 2 sheets of answers.
For sure. Yeah.
So this is what smart working is needed, very much needed. And even if you take most of the tier 1 and tier 2 cities, kids will lose marks in Kannada. So
Languages.
again, yeah, in
Yeah.
languages, especially in languages. Again, knowing the author and the details of the author is one of the best important thing. So again, make a column, 15 lesson or 15 poems. Within 15 lines, everything you should get. First column, poet name. Second column, you will have what lesson or what poem he has written. Third column, what was the year he lived. Fourth column, what are the the fames and awards he got. fifth column, because students will know the story. So
Yes, sir.
only these elements they need to really work out. This is called smart work. So that is where they need to improvise. And when it comes to science and mathematics, majority of the students face problems. They don't remember the in this. The common mistake what I do, what the student does is, according to me, they read maths, they write biology. Because math, physics, and all you can learn through practice.
Yeah.
Consistent practice has to happen. Even if you give 1 week of gap, you will, forget the previous concept. If you forget the previous concept, the concrete base is gone. So that requires continuous, consistent practice, especially math and science, and they need to write and practice, not to read and practice.
Yeah.
Majority of the students I have seen and have spoke to them also, they always say, sir, I read maths, tomorrow is my exam, I'll read. No, don't read. Write and practice. Even if you are able to cover up 50% of the syllabus, write and practice. That is what I always insist.
Yes, sir. Yes, so like personally, you have told many tricks for history and Kannada. I wish I had known it before in my school days. I'll tell my brother at least, for Kannada at least, yeah. And also, sir, you have had like much of experience, right? At least like in 14 to 15 years. So, what is the common youth? Could you see the change in the youth and their perceptions, and also like what is actually emerging out? So, could you tell us what difference is?
The present youth is more of, they spend much of the time on screen. So, which I always insist, reduce your screen time. I've noticed, many people, it might have been, you also experienced, Varsha, you might be before the bed, you might have decided I'll watch last video in Insta and close it down. And without your knowledge, you will be spending 2 to 3 hours. When you suddenly, if you see the time, it is already 2 o'clock in the midnight.
It's very addictive, yeah.
So that should be avoided. That is why I always tell students, reduce screen time. And the mobile phone is one of the device. Make every child to lie with their parents. When their parents ask, "What are you doing?" "Ma'am have sent very important notes. I'm going through it." That's all. Finished. Parents also don't have control over it.
Yeah.
And if they take off, they'll be under depression. So now the children has to, according to me, it is not only keep a time management for studies, they should keep a time management for their screen time also.
True.
According to me, in between coffee break, in between dinner break, 30 minutes, if they could spend time, that is more enough. What hardly they discuss, they don't discuss economical issue of the country. They don't discuss syllabus issue of their subjects, right? So more of general topic they discuss. So I always preferably insist them to, have some time for your mobile timetable. Make a timetable as you make your maths, science, social, Kannada, English. So you keep a time for your mobile phone also. Since you, most of the time, the common PR is your class. Suppose if your Varsha is studying in the class 10, so Varsha will communicate with your class students only, right?
Yeah.
So make a class, entire class common timetable, 6 to 7, we will be available on chat. Finish. After 7, you start studying, you start focusing. So even parents will also satisfy themselves, and students will also satisfy. And if child really wants an appreciation from their parent, I insist, after 6 to 7, hand over the phone to parents. And sit.
Yes, sir.
So it's going to be an, the moment, emotional moment can be created with their parents will be very much happiest person in this world if this initiation from the children's side happens.
Yes, sir. But I guess we have seen a drastic change from the lockdown because everything was digitalized at that time. So the increase of the screen time also increased from that time, and like even parents also opting for an option for the phone itself
Yeah,
because
we can
everything
say
almost everything.
hybrid mode of education.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I was into this online coaching way back 2015.
Okay.
So I have a very good experience with this. But still, hybrid mode is also good, and screen time is also good. But there must be a track whether they are really going
Yeah, there
through the
should be a limit
lessons.
also. Yes.
Yeah, so I've witnessed personally, where students, lying to the parents, they're watching the videos, they're learning concepts, but in another tab they will always an active Insta chat. That should be avoided. So that is the
Yes, sir.
important thing which I could say the students really need to work, or spend qualitative time on studies, qualitative time on education.
Yeah. Yes, sir. And also, sir, as time management, like back to because all the students wanted to know what are the other ways and tips you could tell them to manage and also to plan their schedules for the exams or like normal schedules also.
Yeah. So while writing in exams, I always insist the students keep all your one-word answers at last and finish off all your lengthy answers from the beginning. Because I have, I always preferably, insist on this for all the students. Number one is why I'm telling. Just imagine, Varsha, you're writing an examination as a student. You have done all the answers. Last 20 minutes left, and you need to write 5 marks, 4 questions. Can you write?
Yeah, you'll be very tensed up, so you forget all the answers.
Yeah. So now we'll reverse it. You have completed all your lengthy answers. You're done. 20 minutes left. 20 marks, one word answer and two-word answer you need to write.
Yeah, it's easy cakewalk, easy
Yeah,
cakewalk.
so this is how you need to work even in your examination hall. And I also insist the students to practice one more thing in the examination, that you know first complete all the compulsory questions, like answer any three, answer any three, answer any two, answer any two, and be specific. Majority of the students, what they does, they simply waste time in the examination hall. So if the question is state, you need to state. List, you need to list. That's all. But many of the student will explain. So which is a wrong again. Clear. So because the student one who explains complete concept will also get 3 marks. The students one who have listed the points will also get 3 marks only. Because evaluators will not give. So students has to understand the list, explain, explain. And whenever they are writing lengthy answers, they need to start writing with the meaning, then explanation, key answers. They need to list the key answers, because if Varsha could write key answers, so I would, if I am an evaluator, I will evaluate Varsha. She has a stuff. If you could
Yeah,
able
you
to
get that
write key
impression.
answers, yes.
Yeah.
So that positive vibe, if our evaluators gets, so automatically their quality of answers will increase. Even students will also get one boosting, so one kick
Yes.
to write the answer in the examination. So that is where exactly they need to really work. So this is in the examination hall, what I said. So where they can concentrate to increase their marks.
Okay, yes, sir. And also, sir, there are like many people, like I have seen my friends, or like there are many students who are very knowledge, but then they won't be able to put it in the paper, like information and knowledge. So, how is it different, and how can one student convert the information into knowledge for their own benefit?
Yeah. So as you're telling, the students are intelligent, they know the information. I do agree. The problem with them is they will by heart the concept. So just a simple trick I can tell, that the simple trick I can tell what they can do is for better improvisation. See, if we are telling table like two ones are two, two twos are four, two threes are six. Suppose if you stuck in between, can you start immediately?
Yes.
from where you have stopped? No, you will start from the
Yeah, again from the
beginning.
first. Yeah.
That what happens when you mug up the concepts. That is what happens when you buy heart. Rather than buy hurting, understand. Like the same table can be understandable very easily. So what is that? Two ones are two, two twos are four, two threes are six. Majority of the students, even if you could able to try to communicate, ask them what is that za in the table.
Hmm.
No one knows. Actually, it is two twos are four, two threes are six. So this is how
Yeah.
the conceptualization. It is very simple. Now you can say two threes are what you know,
Yeah.
right?
6.
So instead, rather than teaching this way, we are teaching by heart and come, mug up and come. So the students, they are knowledgeable. Why they are putting it across in the book? Because they'll have this kind of problem by hurting, mugging up. So instead of that, I insist them, write, try to understand the concept, put it in your own words, no matter. Don't go. The people were shouting, don't go, you will fall. But the frog was deaf. It understood all of them are cheering up, and the frog could climb the tree. So, for negative thoughts, be a, deaf. And for positive thought, always keep your ears open so that you will get lot and lot of a positive message, and positive, messages should reach the child's brain. So if you boost your child, you can do it, you will do it. You have the capacity, definitely the child will do. I don't say any child is a poor kid. Everybody are intelligent. Everybody are masters. We are limiting with them certain criteria, certain expectations.
Yes.
That has to change. Usually, uh, you said about your friends who are intelligent cannot produce answer. I'll take that point here. Why I always say this: be confident, be believe in yourself. A for is not always apple. You can write aeroplane, right? You can write arm. You can write anything which starts from A.
Yeah.
But still today, if I say A for, in your mind also came an apple.
Yeah.
Correct. So that is the system we should not go with. So keep on exploring things so that you can come out of that negativity and increase positivity and self belief, and can boost the confidence in the child. And as a parent, as a student, as a teachers also should motivate the child.
Yeah.
It is not all the time taunting the kid that you are a poor. According to me, I don't have any poor kid in my career. I always believe slow learner, fast learner. That's all.
Yeah.
The foodie guys will also be there. Fast eaters, slow eaters.
Yeah.
Right. The same way there are fast learners, slow learners. Some of them will learn slowly. That is okay. But they will learn definitely
Yeah.
when you give positive, when you create positive atmosphere.
True. True. Yes.
So that is the only solution. Belief system, self belief must be there in every kid, and they should boost themselves, and they should tell that I can do it. Lord Krishna said, when you hear 10 times a lie continuously, you will start assuming that it is going to be a truth.
True. Yeah.
Lie yourself. I know. I can do math. I can do science. Tell yourself for 10 to 20 times, for sure you will learn. Nothing is difficult, nothing is impossible.
Yes, true, sir. And also, sir, like before the exam, what are the things we should not do? Because they so most of the people, like me being an night owl, once I was like staying awake, I didn't sleep, and then like I went blank in the exam hall. So, what are the things we should not do and we should avoid before the night of the exam?
Not before the night. I'll definitely say 1 month before the exam or 15 days before the exam.
Ah.
Don't go for shopping. Stop going for shopping. Number one, don't attend any functions and any events.
Okay.
Because girls will get attracted to some dress. So they'll, in their entire, till they get that item, it will be there in that mind. It will be distracting, it will be disturbing continuously. So I personally suggest not to attend any function, not to go for any party or any events, and don't watch any kind of continuous series like today's web series. In our period, I used to tell that for our generation, don't watch movies, don't watch serials in TV and all. Now I should tell that stop watching web series at least 15 days before your examination, because you will be curious what will happen tomorrow, what he is going to do, rather than concentrating on your studies. So that needs to be avoided. And at the same time, I always tell this, don't get angry on anybody, and don't get detached with anybody. Be always in connect with the people, because that becomes an emotional disturbance all the time. From day one of Avical's to, Jody was there, and all of a sudden, exactly 1 month before the exam or 15 days before the exam, they'll get fight, and they'll not talk to each other. That will also impact mentally, emotionally to them. Don't do that. And at the same time, I'll also add, plan your food. So don't go for heavy food during examinations, especially, there is a saying that morning eat like a king, afternoon eat like ministers, and at the night eat like a beggar. So beggar means not taking few food from different houses, having
Yes.
little food,
Yeah.
but add protein food, like add egg, add sprouts, add liquid juice. So that should not be preservative again. Juice means most of them will ask, sir, maza is okay, or all those stuffs. No,
Yeah.
fresh fruit juice. If possible, I insist, chew the fruit and enjoy the juice rather than going, adding sugar to it and all. So then, as possible, eat raw veggies, then avoid the sugary food. And girls love chocolates. Yeah, they can have chocolates, but keep, some targets. If I
Yeah. Limit.
hit this
Yeah.
many concept, I'll have one dairy milk. So keep
Okay.
a
Yeah.
deadline, not too much. Okay, so that can be done. And even a walk is required whenever you sit for a studies. A walk is required. So if we are now online mode, as you said, hybrid mode of education is up now. So whenever computer has a problem, we'll switch F5. to refresh it. Clear? So to our body also a refreshment is required. So that is a simple walk, don't carry anything, don't carry mobile phone, don't listen to song, just enjoy the nature, watch the surrounding, go for a walk which refreshes your mind, and it increases the memory power of a child. So if that exercise happens, so that is also really important for the students.
Yes, sir. So one last question, that is how to keep oneself very consistent, like not only in studies but also like having a proper discipline. So what is the hierarchy order, like exercise, studies, like that? So what is the thing you prefer?
Like first thing I always say, have proper food,
Hmm.
because you should get a proper energy. Then only everything else work. If you
Yes.
are healthy, you can do anything and everything. Clear.
Hmm.
So have a proper food. So
Hmm.
don't go for diet in the early age, but
Hmm.
reduce sugary food in your diet. That is the most important thing. Other than that, no diet required at this student age. More energy is required. Have proper food. That is number one. Number two, if possible, workout. Physical workout is very, very essential part for anybody. So that should be your second important. So why? Because it not only burns your fatty content, at the same time it burns your negative thoughts.
Yes, true, sir.
So that is second important thing. And third, plan your schedules. You should
Hmm.
know what are you going to do in the next 3 hours or 5 hours. Don't go unplanned one. And always have plan A, plan B, plan C. At least keep three plans ready. So today I'm going to study math. But unfortunately, my friend took the math notes. So you'll be enjoying with the phone. What is your plan B? Take plan B. So that leads a consistency. Clear. That gives you a booster. And third one, always have a positive atmosphere and healthy competition. Not unhealthy, healthy competition. So I always tell the students, don't compete with the toppers of the class. And toppers also I tell, don't compete with other topper. Compete with yourself. Break your own records. Don't why you want to break others' records? Varsha having a capacity of scoring 100 on 100, but Varsha is concentrating on Shilpa who scores 90.
Hmm.
So then your target has been reduced or increased.
Reduced. It being
So
reduced. Yeah.
always compete with yourself. Don't compete with others. So because don't reduce your competency. Don't reduce your strength. Compete with yourself. Even for the weaker students also, I insist on this. If you are 35%, 40% is also okay. So at this time, if you are 40%, compete with yourself. Next time, decide that in advance. I'll reach 50 to 55%. Again, in the next test or examination, decide yourself you're going to score 80%, then 90%. That is how you can achieve a greater thing. So that is going to be a stepping stone for your life if you compete with yourself rather than competing with
The
others.
others. Yes, sir.
So this brings a consistency among all the students because your competitor is yourself.
Yourself.
And
Yeah.
my competitor is myself. And when I compete with myself, I always give best.
Yes, sir. Makes sense.
When I compete with others, maybe that cannot be a best. So that brings consistency. And even parents also, I request all the parents and the teachers at this peak moment of examination, don't pressurize the children, motivate them as much as possible. And students, I'll also tell you that be a deaf for all negatives and be keep your ears open for all positives. So you can do, trust yourself, believe yourself. The belief system can take many miles. I was reading an article, a cancer patient who had already reached the last stage of cancer because he was a chain smoker. Okay, so instead of the doctor telling him that you are at last stage, you're okay. It will be all right. It has not reached that extent. You will do it. You'll recover. You'll recover. And that guy was supposed to die within 3 days of the final report and live for 3 years, 3 more years,
Oh my God. Mhm.
just to buy a belief system. You know, that has to change. Everybody can do anything and everything. So nobody is strong, nobody is weak. It is all about you can grasp a little low or you can learn little slow, but definitely you will learn. So have that belief in you so you can achieve anything in life.
Yes, sir. So what is the one last message you want to give our students?
Knowledge rule the world, and be an educated and show right path to the future generations. And as you rightly said, a lot of changes are going to happen in the field of education also. Maybe down the line, after 10 years, there will be no any traditional method of teaching, as I know. So, accept everything, accept the challenges, be ready to face the challenges. So, always be prepared yourself. Don't take a negative lead, don't go for negative decision. Be positive and say yourself you can do it and you will do it definitely. So
Yes, sir.
finally, education rules the power, knowledge rules the power. It has been already proven, and my slogan always I keep on my table, the books, wherever, whatever I have written, everywhere I have given a slogan that today's education is tomorrow's, is your future. My today's education is what my future's tomorrow. So that
Yes.
is what I would like to say and end up.
Yes, sir. That's really great. And like it was a great session, sir. Like personally for me, and also I believe each one of us have learned like many things, and especially like how to schedule the exam management and how to like have self belief in ourselves, and also for the parents too. Like just be a deaf ear. If they're still telling, or even the friends also to keep a good company. So, sir, I have learned many things, and thank you so much on behalf of the Ashtra team for taking your time, sir, from your busy schedule. And also, sir, it's been like a wonderful session for us. We have learned a lot of things, so thank you so much for that. And last but never the least, I would once again thank you, sir. And we are because you're joining hands with us for a better change, which would indeed lead to the betterment of the youth. And also, tomorrow we'll be having another session on the speech of stress management and mental health at 7 p.m. with Manoj sir. So, guys, I would like to conclude today's session by quoting a quote: productivity is never an accident. It is also always the result of a commitment to excellence, intelligent planning, and focused effort. Thank you and have a great evening.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.